We welcome you to the Novant Health Fieldhouse for this presentation of the UPSHOT League. It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon in Greensboro, and we've got a rowdy crowd inside ready to roar. The summer camp day game makes its way back to the Gate City as the Greensboro Groove gets set to face the Charlotte Crown. Good afternoon and welcome to today's broadcast. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you the call of this one. Today marks the third game of this 5-game mid-July series between the Groove and the Crown. Greensboro coming in with an overall record of 8-12. Charlotte at 9-10. Now these two squads split the opening two meetings last weekend, with Charlotte taking the first one 82-72. But that last game, Greensboro won 80-75. Both games provided immense entertainment, but that Saturday game, you're looking at the highlights right now, brought more juice in a Capri Sun factory. My goodness, it was a thriller. Charlotte led by just 1 point through the first quarter of play, and they led by 5 at the half. But a second half in which Greensboro outscored Charlotte by 10. 43-33, helped them climb back and pick up their first W against the Charlotte Crown since their first meeting back on May 26th. It was a great game. Greensboro was able to have a couple players that scored in double digits. Christina Walla had 20 points and 9 rebounds for the Groove. Sahara Jones, 18 points in 36 minutes of play. Sahara Jones has actually scored 10-plus points in each of her last 10 games. She has been on an absolute tear for the Greensboro Groove. And then you had Kayla Jones, who had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals for Greensboro in that one as well. So the Groove and the Crown going to be going toe-to-toe today. Lots of kids in the building with this summer camp day game. We had one of those last month. It was also a game that featured the Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. Charlotte was able to pull out a victory in that one, but Groove fans in attendance today, they want to see Greensboro get that W here on this summer camp day game. We appreciate everyone that is tuned in for today's broadcast, watching here on the UPSHOT League YouTube channel, whether you got the day off from work, whether you're on your lunch break, whatever it might be. We appreciate you for hopping on and spending your Thursday with us. And certainly the way these last couple games have gone between the Groove and the Crown, I anticipate that we're going to see a lot of high energy from start to finish in this contest. These two teams have seen each other obviously a lot in this past couple weeks, but today marks the first of what will be 3 games happening in 4 days between the Groove and the Crown. These two teams will play each other again tomorrow night at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. That'll be a 7 o'clock p.m. tip-off time, and then Sunday afternoon they will face each other again, and that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern time, again in Greensboro. Your starting lineups for today's ball game, we'll run through them. The Greensboro Groove have a little bit of a shift as Christina Walla, who was the starter in the last game, no longer on the roster for the Greensboro Groove, but had a great ending to her Groove time here with a strong 20-point performance against the Charlotte Crown there on Saturday. So today it's going to be Diamond Johnson and Jessica Timmons, the backcourt that it's been the last couple games for the Greensboro Groove. They'll roll with Kayla Jones and Sahara Jones. Kayla Jones, the new starter in there for the Groove. And then you have Amaya Joyner rounding out the starting 5 for the Greensboro Groove. Head coach Janice Washington had mentioned about Amaya Joyner and Sasha Washington, those two in particular, as the bigs of this Greensboro Groove team, kind of taking on a bigger role, especially with all the roster changes that have happened. They want to see Amaya and Sasha be aggressive and be consistent for this Greensboro Groove squad. As for the Charlotte Crown, coming in as the visitors today, they're rolling with the starting lineup of Deja Kelly, who remains the leading scorer in the UPSHOT League, averaging 18 points a game in 31 minutes of play. They've got Reagan Richardson in the backcourt as well, who's averaging over 12 points a contest. Michelle Onya is in that starting 5, and then you have Shaquila Nunn, who did not play in last weekend's series against the Greensboro Groove, but she is back today. She will start for the Charlotte Crown, and then rounding out the starting 5 for Charlotte will be number 23, A.D. Durr, who is shooting 41% from beyond the arc, had a couple three-pointers in that last game against the Greensboro Groove, a game in which they just could not miss from long range. So the Groove will be wearing their home white uniforms today. Charlotte in their road pink uniforms. Both of these squads looking to climb up in the UPSHOT League standings, an UPSHOT League in which the Jacksonville Waves still sit comfortably in first place at 15-4. They're on a 3-game winning streak and have been 9-1 in their last 10 games. My goodness. Then you have the Charlotte Crown in second place at 9-10. The Greensboro Groove in third at 8-12. And then Savannah Steel sitting at fourth place with a 7-13 overall record. So it'll be Joyner and Onya at center court for today's opening tip. Again, UPSHOT League, play 4 10-minute quarters, 24-second shot clock. Let's do it, folks. We've got Thursday afternoon hoops in the Gate City. It's the groove. It's the crown. As the opening tip is officially controlled by Charlotte, and we are underway. This is Deja Kelly working against Diamond Johnson. Those two have had a lot of good one-on-one matchups in this season series between the groove and the crown. The switch as Timmons picks her up. Now the ball in the hands of A.D. Durr with 8 on the timer. Down low to Shaquila Nunn, and she opens up the scoring for Charlotte. So again, Shaquila Nunn, who did not play in the last couple games against Greensboro, back in the ball game now for Charlotte, and she has made an impact this season, averaging a double-double, 11.8 points per game and 10.5 rebounds. How about Amaya Joyner, a little hook shot, can't fall. Good defense there by Onya, and here come the crown. Kelly down low in the hands of Nunn again, just scored a moment ago. Little hook shot against Kayla Jones, tried to use glass. Couldn't fall, but possession will stay with Charlotte, as it was last touched there by Greensboro. This is a groove team that offensively really found their footing in Saturday's game against Charlotte. Friday kind of struggled, had 3 quarters where they did not score 20 or more points. As you get the hook shot there by Michelle Onya, and that is what she does. I tell you, Onya and Nunn, that's the strength of this Charlotte team, that interior presence. And it's going to be a big key for Greensboro to try and slow down those points inside the paint for Charlotte. Joyner finds Diamond Johnson. Little baseline jumper. Drops in. So number 3 in white opens up the scoring for the groove. Diamond Johnson this season, leading scorer for the Greensboro Groove. Averaging 15.8 points a game. A.D. Durr steps in, fires a mid-range jumper, can't get that one to go. Onya corrals the rebound and finds Reagan Richardson. She couldn't get that one to fall, but the second chance is good. Reagan Richardson certainly has been an X factor for the Charlotte Crown here this season. 6-2 as the Crown lead by 4. Here's Joyner with it on the elbow. Hands it off to Sahara Jones, who's played so well for Greensboro as of late. Timmons has it on the right wing, step back 3, get in there! Jessica Timmons knocking down her first shot of the day. The kids like that, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can be 7 or 77, you are gonna like seeing those 3-pointers fall. Onya, baseline J, off the mark. Here comes Kayla Jones with it for the Greensboro Groove. Coaching staff has called her a vocal leader for this Greensboro squad, has made such an immense impact in her short time with the program. Now Joyner fakes, takes, and makes. And that's so big for Amaya Joyner. If her score numbers can go up, her defense has already been so great this season for Greensboro, but that can just add another layer to her game. Charlotte's got a second chance opportunity. It'll be Richardson for 3. In and out, ball tapped around, and we're going to get a loose ball foul called on the Groove. This is Diamond Johnson finding Kayla Jones down low to Amaya Joyner. Look at her hustling and muscling against Shaquila Nunn inside. Joyner this season averaging over 4 points and 3.5 rebounds. Listed at 6'4", still just 22 years old. Very young player with a lot of potential and talent. How about Kelly, the fake and the fire? Deja Kelly, she is a bucket getter, that is for sure. Has been the most consistent player on that Charlotte Crown team this season. Crown lead by Penny, 6:50 to play in our opening frame. This is Johnson. Between the legs against Kelly with the need for speed inside. Ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Groove with 7 on the shot clock. So again, that matchup between Johnson and Kelly, that's going to be something to keep an eye on. This whole matchup in this whole series between the Groove and the Crown. Timmons, little floater inside, rattles out. Joyner taps it out, and it's corralled by Kayla Jones. What a great hustle play. Jones steps inside, little up and under. Get in there. Ice cream scoop for Kayla Jones. A.D. Durr, no hesitation on the other end, and a foul is drawn. That'll be assessed on Sahara Jones as A.D. Durr will head to the line for 2 shots. A Charlotte Crown team that has definitely gotten to the line a lot this season, but especially in the last couple games. They have lived at the free throw line. Pretty much every one of their starters have taken at least 4 or more free throw attempts in this series against the Groove so far as Durr knocks down the first free throw. Take a look there at head coach Janice Washington for the Greensboro Groove. Her squad 3-1 in their last 4 games. A couple wins against Savannah Steel and then a win last Saturday on 7-11 day against Charlotte. As Greensboro will now throw it out from the side. Had a lane violation there, it looked like. So 9-9, tied ball game early on. Sasha Washington's at the scores table. She'll check in next dead ball for the Groove. Here's Johnson, picked up tightly right now by Deja Kelly. Gives it over to Sahara Jones now. Kayla Jones gets free. Has it against Nunn. Tries to work and move inside. A little turnaround Jay. Too strong. Ball is corralled there by Nunn. And here comes Charlotte. Onya. Little fake. Fire. Can't get that one to fall. Joyner with the rebound. Charlotte with some nice transition D as Greensboro looks to push. Joyner down low. Nunn got a piece of it. Timmons gets it back for Greensboro. Bounce pass inside to Joyner. Muscles her way inside for 2 points. So Amaya Joyner, 2 field goals early on. And it looks like she's taken the direction of what her coaching staff has said for her, which has been be more aggressive. Again, Amaya Joyner, a player that played her college ball 3 years at ECU before going to LSU, where she played with a really storied program. Solange Johnson, Angel Reese, that squad over there as Joyner checks out. And now Sasha Washington gets her first minutes of the day for the Greensboro Groove. Another player that has also played good basketball for the Greensboro Groove. Here's Kelly, looking down low for Nunn, intercepted by Diamond Johnson. Here she goes, Washington the trailer, gets it to Washington, and she cannot finish, gets her own miss. It takes 2 to make things go right. Sasha Washington making an impact early for Greensboro. So the Groove, just like that, lead by 4, their largest lead so far. Durr's 3 is too strong, and Jones corrals the rebound for Greensboro. Over halfway through our opening period, Kayla Jones in the hands of Jessica Timmons. Out to Washington, jumper, no hesitation. Off the mark, second chance for the Groove. Johnson for 3, yes! The scoring party continues for Greensboro. So Charlotte trying to get back on track. They scored the first bucket of the game, but since then, it has been a 16-7 Greensboro run. Oh my goodness, Reagan Richardson had an easy layup there, couldn't finish. And here comes Diamond Johnson now. Gets a screen from Kayla Jones, picks up her dribble, as Greensboro will reset. Timmons working against Durr now. Johnson, another 3-ball. Money! Back to back, just like that. Diamond Johnson's on fire. And Charlotte has seen enough. They're going to call time out. What a start for the Greensboro Groove. They have been putting on a show in front of these kids. Diamond Johnson, the leading scorer for the Greensboro Groove, showing why. Her first 3-pointer deep from the right wing. And then a second opportunity there. Diamond Johnson said, let me let it fly again. It's all Greensboro. We're back in just a moment. This is the UPSHOT League. Well, it's been all Greensboro so far as we welcome you back to this live presentation of the UPSHOT League. Janice Washington and her squad are rolling early on. My name's Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's broadcast. The Groove lead 19-9 right now. They're 3 of 3 from long range, shooting 8 of 14. That's good for 57% from the field. But right out of the timeout, Deja Kelly scores there for Charlotte. Diamond Johnson, leading scorer for Greensboro, 8 points, 2 of 2 from long range, including back-to-back threes on her last 2 possessions. Johnson trying to get free again. She's going to fire another. Why not? But that one too strong. Little heat check for Diamond right there. Here comes Charlotte on the other end as Nunn gets fouled. And with a player like Shaquila Nunn, Charlotte's got a couple players, A.D. Durr, they got some dogs on this team that are vets in women's basketball that have been around the block playing professionally. And when you have an experienced team like that, no lead is safe when you're playing against a squad like Charlotte, as you see Washington draw the foul, get committed there with her first personal. So Nunn will shoot 2 free throws, knocks down the first free throw. Shaquila Nunn, as I mentioned earlier, averaging a double-double this season. 6'3" forward, was the 25th overall pick in the 3rd round of the 2017 WNBA draft by the San Antonio Stars. My goodness, a name that I have not heard in a while. Of course, San Antonio Stars, an old WNBA franchise, and later became Las Vegas Aces, but Nunn has been around the block and now playing in this wonderful UPSHOT League here with the Charlotte Crown. Here comes Deja Kelly now, running the point for Charlotte. Drives in, uses glass, too easy for Deja buckets. She's up to 6 points. That's a team high for the Crown. Here's Sasha Washington now, has it near the right wing, hands it off to Kiera Leslie, who has just checked in for Greensboro. Leslie made her debut on Saturday, knocked down a 3-pointer in her first minute of action. Gets blocked on that play by Shaquila Nunn, who said, not scoring on me. On the other end, Kelly down low to Quinzaya Fulmore, who finishes for 2. So just like that, it's a 1-possession game. Greensboro led by 10 when Tricia Safford-Odom called a timeout to try and regroup her group. Timmons gets it to Kayla Jones, back to Timmons. That's a smooth-looking stroke, everything but the finish. Shot looked like it wanted to go down. Here's Richardson inside aggressively, and she will shoot 2. So Reagan Richardson, a player who played her college basketball at Duke University, native of Charlotte, North Carolina, having a stellar campaign with the Charlotte Crown so far, 12.2 points per game, 3.6 rebounds. A player that is just 23 years old, and had 8 points on Saturday in 16 minutes. Didn't play as much as she did on Friday, a game in which she had 17 points in 30 minutes of action. As Amaya Joyner's checked back in for the Greensboro Groove, and we're going to get our first look as well at Nyseria Pryor, the 5'3" point guard for the Greensboro Groove. She'll replace Kayla Jones. 2 minutes remain in our opening period as Greensboro leads by a deuce. So it's Diamond Johnson, Sahara Jones, Nyseria Pryor, Amaya Joyner, and Kiera Leslie, the 5 on the floor for Greensboro. Johnson's little teardrop can't fall. She almost got a steal on that play after the miss, but it'll be Charlotte basketball. So Deja Kelly continuing to run the point. She's played every minute of this opening period for Charlotte. Lele Grissett has also checked in for the Crown. Fulmore down low against Sahara Jones, drives inside for 2, and just like that, Charlotte is back on top. What a response here by the Crown after that timeout. It seemed like it was all Greensboro. Early 18-8 lead, 12-1 run since then. Pryor, dump pass down low to Joyner. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 6 points for Amaya Joyner as Kelly gets inside and answers just like that. I tell you, Deja Kelly continues to impress me game after game. Just the way she gets her baskets so effortlessly. Joyner inside against Fulmore, wasting no time. Tried to use the right hand, couldn't get that one to fall. On the other end, it's Richardson for the deuce. The Crown are a team that like to get out in transition and get their fast break points early and often. They've been doing that so far in this first quarter. Johnson, oh my! It's hot outside and hot inside thanks to Diamond Johnson. That's her third triple of the first quarter. Ball is loose as Fulmore and Joyner battle down on the ground. And we're gonna get a jump ball. So a high-scoring affair here in this first quarter of play between the Groove and the Crown. As it'll be Joyner and Fulmore to jump it up. Take a look at this last three here from Diamond Johnson. And I love to see that aggression from Diamond Johnson because she only had 7 points on Saturday against Charlotte. She's already eclipsed that total with 11 here in this first quarter. And I think a game like this can do so much for her confidence. Obviously has had so many great scoring games this season. She was the leading scorer in Upshot for a good chunk of that early portion of the season. 4 seconds remain on the shot clock as Charlotte's going to have to put something up. That's KK Deans. Shots too strong. Rebounds corralled by Lele Gersett. And with exactly 5 seconds on the game clock, Gersett will shoot 2. And I have a feeling that we're only going to see the intensity continue to ramp up between the Crown and the Groove. These two teams have came ready to play. It's never easy to play, these early games, especially a lot of your games are scheduled and you're kind of accustomed to playing evening time, but you got a lot of kids in the building cheering you on, and how great is it that we have a Camp Dade game like this in the UPSHOT League. Kudos to UPSHOT and all the 4 teams for putting on these Camp Dade games throughout the season, allowing the next generation of hoopers to see pro women's basketball. Gersett splits the pair from the line. Groove have one final shot. It's Pryor with it. Trying to go fast. Oh my goodness, she lost her footing. Kayla Jones throws up a prayer to end the first quarter as the Crown lead the Groove narrowly, 25-24 through the opening 10 minutes of play. A game in which Greensboro had a double-digit lead. We're back for the second quarter in just a moment. Welcome back to this live presentation of the UPSHOT League. It's the Greensboro Groove taking on the Charlotte Crown. Appreciate you all tuning in. My name's Wendell Let's got a great production crew along for the ride as well. What a game this has been. Charlotte leads 25-24 through one quarter of play, nearly an identical first quarter to what we saw on Saturday, where Charlotte led 18-17 through the opening 10 minutes of play. The Groove led by double digits. They had a 10-point lead in that first quarter, but an 11-point turnaround has Charlotte back on top. Sahara Jones can't hit the first shot there of the second period. So here come the Crown on the other end. They had 20 points inside the paint in that first quarter, but now here comes their three-point game, A.D. Durr. Of course, it's going to be them that's going to open up the three-point shooting for Charlotte. Durr hit about 2 threes in a row on Saturdays. Oh my goodness, did I just see 3 players get in there for a tag team block? I think it was KK Deans that was the anchor of that. But my goodness, what a play. We're going to have to see this one again, right? Pryor gets inside, and there's 3 Charlotte players. I mean, any one of those could have gotten a piece of that, but it was KK Deans, actually the smallest of those 3, that got it. Deans listed at just 5'8", but she got up there. Johnson, a baseline J, too long. Here come the Crown on the other end. It's Durr again. That one can't fall. Grissett got a piece of it, but look at Sahara Jones saying, that's my ball. Jones on the other end, little Euro inside, blocking foul, and she will shoot 2. So the pace of this game has just continued to ramp up. You're going to see Sahara Jones get down, and I love that you see about 3 Charlotte players right there. Cornegay Lucas, Grissett, Onya, all getting down in transition. This is a Charlotte team that's not going to give you fast break points very easily, and especially with their versatility, their size, and their athleticism. It's going to take a lot to score on them in transition. As Sahara Jones misses the first free throw. That first quarter, the Groove actually did not take a single shot from the line. That was a complete contrast to Charlotte, who shot 5 of 8 from the free throw line in the opening period of play. 3-point game as Charlotte remains on top. A little over a minute into our second quarter. Cornegay Lucas directing traffic. Calls for a screen from Onya. Goes between the legs as Jones is on her. Cornegay Lucas drives inside, lost control of the ball, and it'll be a turnover. Flip that possession arrow to Greensboro. So the Groove right now with Diamond Johnson back on the floor, who had such a stellar first quarter. 11 points, had a steal in there, was 3 of 4 from long range. Gets it to Sasha Washington near that free throw line. Kayla Jones for 3. Good hustle play there by Charlotte. As here comes KK Deans now, working against Pryor. Using glass and getting that one to go. The bank is open early in Greensboro. Johnson, a 3, no hesitation. That is too long as Charlotte will take it over. So KK Deans, who had a stellar block a moment ago, now showcasing her offensive skill set. Deans made her Charlotte Crown debut last Friday. Had a good, pretty opening weekend there with Charlotte, averaging 4.5 points through 2 games so far with the Crown. Here's Onya down low. One-on-one against Washington. A little hook with the left hand, drops in. Michelle Onya, such an incredible post player. Listed at 6'3", her footwork is just second to none. This is Johnson, drives inside against Cornegay Lucas. Greensboro with some excellent ball movement right now. They go around the horn, timer down to 5. It's Kayla Jones, free throw line, Jay, in and out like a fast food restaurant, but Sasha Washington is there for the board. Third opportunity for Greensboro. Johnson will reset. Saucing and crossing her way into the lane. Oh my goodness, hard foul. But she's up, all good, and she will shoot 2. Diamond Johnson, the lone player in double digits so far for the Greensboro Groove. Trying to showcase her inside game, as you see right there. A nice take. Diamond Johnson, such an aggressive player. She has easily been one of the standouts, not just for this Greensboro Gru team, but in this entire UPSHOT League this season. 5 20-plus point games here in UPSHOT so far, including a career-high 30 points in that first game on opening night against the Savannah Steel, an opening night that Greensboro Gru fans all around will definitely remember. An opening weekend they'll remember. Remember, they had that crazy double overtime win against the Savannah Steel as well. Both of those games right here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. As Johnson's 2 free throws were good, Greensboro's within 5. Defense chance erupting here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. Again, it's summer camp day game. Lots of kids in the building. As, oh my goodness, Lele Grissett showcasing her footwork as she finishes with the left hand. Timmons gets it to Sasha Washington. Back to Jessica Timmons. Had a 3-pointer early in that first quarter. Johnson drives inside, fires a J, almost got the and one, and she will head back to the line. As Sydney Shaw's at the scores table. She'll get set to check in after this first free throw. Johnson getting to the line once again. The 24-year-old guard listed at 5'4", knocks down the first free throw. 5-star recruit back in the class of 2020, coming out of high school. Played in the Chinese WCBA recently, averaged nearly 15 points per game there, and a player that has participated in WNBA training camp, most recently last year with the Minnesota Lynx. As she knocks down both free throws there, Johnson, an 83% free throw shooter coming in today, and how she's making those free throws now, that percentage will raise after this game. Here's Deans with it, right in front of that Charlotte bench, gets it to Durr for 3, too strong. Sasha Washington soars like an eagle for the rebound. Here come the Groove now. Timmons will slow things down for Greensboro as they trail by 5. Johnson escapes the pressure. Timmons for 3. Bullseye! It's always a great day when Jessica Timmons is knocking down threes. Shooting over 30% from long range this season. That's her second triple of the day. And on the other end, Onya draws contact and a foul. She will shoot 2. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout on the floor. Good one on tap. Charlotte leads by 2 with 5:52 remaining here in the second quarter of play. We'll step aside for a break. You're watching the UPSHOT League. Thursday afternoon, a beautiful day in the Gate City. We're in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Novant Health Fieldhouse, home of the UPSHOT League's Greensboro Groove, where the Groove currently trailed the Charlotte Crown 34-32. Welcome back in. My name's Wendell Epps here to bring you today's broadcast. Appreciate you spending your Thursday with us. Wherever you may be watching, you are tuned in to the UPSHOT League. What a game this has been so far between the Crown and the Groove. They've gone back and forth all throughout the first quarter, where Charlotte led very narrowly through one period of play. They've held on to this tight lead into the second quarter, but Janice Washington and her squad are definitely trying to get back on track and maybe try and get a lead here before we hit halftime. Remember, we had a tight game on Saturday that Greensboro was able to prevail with 80-75. It was the second half where Greensboro really turned things around, outscoring Charlotte by 10. Here's Timmons with the ball for Greensboro. Over to Sydney Shaw, who's just checked in for the Groove. Timmons now for three. Again! Money! 3 triples for Jessica Timmons. And the kids in the building are loving it. A.D. Durr has it, gets a screen from Nunn, looks down low for Nunn, goes inside strong, can't finish. Good rebound by Michelle Onya. How about Kayla Jones stomping on the defensive end? Now it's the other Jones, Zahara to Timmons, to Shaw for 3. No. There we go. We're on a racetrack right now. The pace is picking up. Durr drives inside, little teardrop, can't go. And it's last touch by Charlotte. And with this Camp Day game, you do see Bluey on your screen right there. If you look to the right, good old-fashioned popular Bluey is in attendance indeed. As is DJ, of course, a lovely mascot of the Greensboro Groove. So a lot of entertainment for these kids. They can take all the photos they want. Part of this summer Camp Day game at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. Here's Kayla Jones now working against Shaquila Nunn inside. Try to use it with the right hand. But good defense there by Nunn. 4.5 to play in our first half. Charlotte leads by a penny. This is Deans. Weaving her way into the lane, and that's an offensive foul. Charge City in Greensboro. Great job there by Kayla Jones. You're going to see Deans had an open lane. Kayla Jones sacrificing her body on that play, and it paid off in dividends. Offensive foul assessed on Charlotte. So Diamond Johnson and Jessica Timmons, they have been the consistent star backcourt for Greensboro this season. They've combined for 23 of Greensboro's 35 points so far. Sydney Shaw has it now. Kicks it out to Johnson. Fakes, drives. Shaw will fire. Off the mark. Sydney Shaw is a sharp shooter, though. Shot 42% from 3 in her final college basketball season at West Virginia. As here comes Charlotte now, leading by 3. Johnson picked up by Deja Kelly. It's Timmons. Receives a screen from Joyner. Baseball pass out to Johnson. Steps back and can't hit the tray ball. As Deja Kelly, who hasn't scored in a little bit. Greensboro's done a nice job of slowing her down recently, but as I say that, she shoots but misses. On the other end now, Kayla Jones drives inside. Rejected, my goodness. Michelle Onya got a piece of that. On the other end, oh, Sydney Shaw said, get out, not in my house. So one block on one end and another on the other. Look at Sydney Shaw, up, and said, get out. Those are the defensive plays you love to see, especially from your 5'9" guard. Kayla Jones, no hesitation. Can't hit. Joyner tried to get the rebound. Looks like she was fouled, and that is indeed the call. So Greensboro will keep it with 3:03 on the game clock. And we're going to get a timeout here on the floor as Greensboro trails by 3. Back in just a moment, you are watching the UPSHOT League. Well, a musical chairs champion has just been crowned in Greensboro, North Carolina. Oh, I wish we got back like 30 seconds before that because I totally would have done play-by-play of that musical chairs finale. That's awesome. I love seeing the kids doing their thing, having fun. That's what it's all about. It is a summer camp day game at the Novon Health Fieldhouse. A great crowd on tap watching this beautiful game of basketball featuring the Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. Charlotte leads Greensboro 38-35 with 3:02 remaining here in our second quarter. There's Sydney Shaw with it off the timeout. 3-ball, can't fall. She's had a couple good looks from long range. They just have not gone in. Here's Nunn into the hands of Onya. Now it's Deja Kelly with it. One-on-one against Diamond Johnson. Down low to Nunn. Has it against Kayla Jones. Good defense here by Kayla Jones. Get out! That's a second block of the quarter for number 21. Here's Joyner, working one-on-one against Onya. Less than 2.5 to play. Joyner bulldozing her way inside, but Onya said, not scoring on me just yet. So Sahara Jones will come back in for Greensboro. Sydney Shaw will check out. And the 3 players on the floor right now, Diamond Johnson, Sahara Jones, Jessica Timmons, I got to give them their flowers because they have been on this team all season long and they have been consistent pieces. With all this roster turnaround there has been, they have just been so adaptable all year long, being great pieces of this Greensboro Groove team, scoring double digits in a lot of games, acclimating their new teammates to the roster, and just being great leaders on and off the court. And I think when you get players like that, especially how young all of them are, all under the age of 25, it just shows you just how bright the future of women's basketball is, how much talent there is, as those are three young ladies that are going to have a great professional basketball career moving forward. 4 on the timer. Sahara Jones drives inside, and right on cue, will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws to try and rack up some more points. So Greensboro heads back to the line where today they're 5 of 6. They have really been great from long range. 6 of 14 from three-point land. That's good enough for 43%. Charlotte, meanwhile, just 1 of 6. And that's good enough for just about 17%. But Charlotte has done their dirty work inside the paint. 28 points inside that low block. And 8 fast break points as well for the Crown, who are looking to try and get a W today. Again, these two teams 2nd and 3rd respectively in the standings. Oh my goodness, that's got to be an offensive foul, and that will, as Sahara Jones took a charge. She was flying all the way back to Charlotte, it looked like. You're going to see what I'm talking about right now. Is Reagan Richardson going at that, and then phew, look how far Sahara Jones went back. That offensive foul was called literally as soon as that happened. So Greensboro trails by 1. They can take a lead here with a made bucket. It's Sahara Jones driving inside, looking down low for Joyner, but it's intercepted by Onya. On the other end, Kelly for 3. Ball's tapped, and we're going to get a loose ball foul. Possession will stay with Charlotte. So Reagan Richardson will inbound. Her and Deja Kelly tied for a team-high 8 points so far for the Crown. Not too far behind them is Michelle Onya with 6. As Kelly has it on the left corner. What a pass inside of Reagan Richardson, just like they drew it up. A phenomenal inbound play. Here's Johnson now, picked up by Kelly right near that Groove logo at center court. This is Sahara Jones to Jessica Timmons for 3. Too long. Kelly with the launching pass now in the hands of Lele Grissett on the other end. She'll slow it down, now goes up and finishes with ease. So Charlotte now leads by 5. A game in which Greensboro has led by as many as 10. Charlotte has led by as many as 7. There have been 6 lead changes so far. Johnson gets a screen from Sasha Washington. Kicks it out in the hands there of Kayla Jones for 3. Money! How about Kayla Jones hopping in on the three-point party? You're all invited if you're wearing a Greensboro Groove uniform. They have been lights out from long distance. Onya with the putback. Charlotte has just been getting those second chance opportunities. That's now 9 second chance points for the Crown. 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Reagan Richardson said, give me that. Here she comes on the other end. Scoops it up inside, but can't get that one to fall, as possession will stay with the Crown. Approaching halftime of this game between Charlotte and Greensboro. These two teams will play each other again tomorrow night at the Novon Health Fieldhouse before wrapping up this 5-game series on Sunday afternoon. Following that, Greensboro will head to Jacksonville before starting a weekend series at home against the Jacksonville Waves next week, as Richardson gets the and one off the inbound. The Charlotte Crown have been A+ on their inbound plays here in these last couple minutes. And when you got plays working like this, you're going to see Onya finding Richardson, who just is arguably the best cutter on this Charlotte Crown team and maybe one of the best cutters in this entire UPSHOT League. It's like every time she's on the floor and there's an inbound play, she's going to find a way to cut inside of the basket. And not only does she find her way to get inside, but she also finds her way to score baskets, just like she did right there, getting an and one opportunity. 7-point lead for the Crown, 8 seconds remain, shot clock is dark, Groove with the ball. This is Johnson, 3 seconds remain, Johnson inside, little runner, get in there! Big shot for Diamond Johnson. 0.5 of a second, as it is officially halftime in a raucous environment at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. Charlotte leads Greensboro 47-42. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we will have our halftime analysis, stats, highlights, and more. Bluey, DJ, everybody in the house for this fun contest between the Groove and the Crown. And the second half certainly is bound to be fun. You are watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back into the Novant Health Fieldhouse. You are watching the UPSHOT League. Summer camp day happening here in Greensboro. The kids playing a good old-fashioned game of knockout. My name is Wendell Epps, here to bring you today's broadcast. Your halftime score, Charlotte leads Greensboro 47-42. The Crown in that first quarter trailed by 10 points, actually. The Groove came out on fire. Diamond Johnson hit 3 3-pointers early on, but then Charlotte with an incredible turnaround, and they were able to take a 25-24 lead there at the end of the first quarter. Second period, Charlotte was able to outscore Greensboro 22-18. Still was a neck-and-neck game, though. Greensboro still very much in this contest. Diamond Johnson leading the way for the Groove with 17 points, 3 of 6 from long range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Greensboro as a team knocked down 7 3-pointers and had 9 second-chance points. And how about the Charlotte Crown as a team inside the paint? 36 points inside that low block out of their 47 points that they had. Reagan Richardson was beasting and feasting all over the place. 13 points for her to lead the Charlotte Crown. Michelle Onya had 8 points. Deja Kelly backed her up as well with 8 as well. So those three combined for a grand total of 29 first half points. Charlotte Crown and the Greensboro Groove playing each other for the third straight game. They've split the first 2 meetings so far, with Charlotte taking the first one last Friday and Greensboro winning on Saturday, and what was a thrilling game over there as well. So definitely in this third quarter, it's going to be interesting to see, can Charlotte continue to build this lead that they have? Can they make it go on a little bit of a run, or can Greensboro kind of have a little bit of a repeat of what they did on Saturday when they went on that huge run to open up the third quarter and were able to outscore the Charlotte Crown by 10? One thing, though, about these UPSHOT League games, I tell you folks, no matter if you're watching Greensboro, Charlotte, Savannah, or Jacksonville, all of those games are going to bring a lot of unpredictability. We have seen some crazy games in the UPSHOT League, and no doubt this is going to be another game we can add to that list. We're going to step aside for a break here momentarily, and when we come back, we'll get you some halftime highlights. We'll continue to break down this first half, and we'll talk more about the atmosphere of this UPSHOT League game as well. Greensboro and Charlotte, second half, coming up shortly. You are watching the UPSHOT League. A little game of knockout about to conclude here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. See 4 players remain here in this UPSHOT League halftime. Greensboro and Charlotte. Charlotte leads 47-42. All right, we're getting down to the wire here in that knockout competition. 2 players remain. Goes the black hoodie. He misses. Green shirt makes it. Oh, he almost could have ended it right there. Still going. Green shirt gets a layup. Yeah, I'm just doing play-by-play of knockout right now because this is actually pretty entertaining. For the win right there, the black hoodie can get it. Oh, my goodness. What a game, though, this has been between Greensboro and Charlotte. It's great to see the summer camp day game happening right now. These 2 teams have put on a show for Greensboro and Charlotte in the Novant Health Fieldhouse. And there you go. You got your knockout winner right there, finally. So great game there for those kids. And how about a great opportunity for them to shoot at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. But we're going to take a look at some first half highlights from this game. We start with the opening basket of this game. It was Shaquilla Nunn off the beautiful pass from A.D. Durr. Greensboro then got rolling early in that first quarter thanks to number 3, Diamond Johnson. Johnson had 11 points there early on in that contest. She hit a couple threes as well. Michelle Onya, a couple hook shots as well. But I tell you, Diamond Johnson, when she is on the floor, she's going to be scoring. She's going to be roaring. Had a couple assists there as well. Sasha Washington, a player that her and Amaya Joyner tasked on to take a bigger role with the Greensboro Groove, especially with the roster changes that have happened with Greensboro the last couple games. Those 2 have definitely seen their minutes increase and their responsibilities increase as well. Kayla Jones has been another beautiful addition to the Greensboro Groove. She scored double digits in every one of her Greensboro Groove games so far, and she is looking to try and continue that here in this contest today with the Greensboro Groove. Kayla Jones currently with 5 points so far. Kiara Leslie was an addition to the Greensboro Groove last Saturday. Shaquilla Nunn made her return, and she made a pretty good impact in that first half for the Charlotte Crown. Had 6 rebounds there, a block shot as well. And Keziah Fillmore, who had been stepping in her place the last couple games at the center position, came off the bench and still provided some nice minutes. But there you go, the long-range 3 from Diamond Johnson, who had a couple triples in that ball game. Diamond Johnson, a player that right now is currently the 3rd leading scorer in the UPSHOT League. Jessica Timmons had a couple trade balls. She is currently the 5th leading scorer in UPSHOT. So you're taking a look at 3 of the top 5 leading scorers in the entire league between Timmons, Johnson, and Deja Kelly, who still remains in first place. But I tell you, if Jessica Timmons can continue to knock down those threes in the second half, that certainly can help the Greensboro Groove mount a comeback in this game today. So the second half, we're bound for a lot of fun basketball. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot of good basketball here in the second half between the Groove and the Crown. So 5:54 on that halftime clock. We're going to get the second half rolling in just a bit. We will head to one final break. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the start of the second half. Don't you move. You are watching the UPSHOT League. When your business needs power, you can rely on trusted commercial and industrial electrical contractor who knows North Carolina. From new construction and renovations to service, upgrades, and critical power systems, D.W. Evans Electric delivers safe, dependable electrical solutions on time and on budget. Our experienced team powers facilities across the state with precision, professionalism, and pride. D.W. Evans Electric, powering North Carolina's businesses. Call 919-383-6020 or visit dwevans.com today. Welcome back into the UPSHOT League, everybody. My name is Wendell Ebbs, here to bring you today's broadcast. The Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. Crown leading the Groove 47-42 at the half. Second half, just a couple moments from beginning here. Taking a look at some more first half highlights from this ball game so far. A game in which the Greensboro Groove shot 39% from long range in that first half. Charlotte as a team, though, shot 48% from the field and shot 12 free throw attempts. So they were getting to the line. They were taking advantage of it. A.D. Durr was actually the only player in that first half that hit a three-pointer for the Charlotte Crown. And the Greensboro Groove had a plethora of players that knocked down tray balls. 4 different players hit at least one three-pointer in that first half for the Groove, led by Diamond Johnson, who hit 3 and has a team high and a game high 17 points heading in to our second half. But of course, this game definitely has a big implication for the UPSHOT standings. Right now, the Greensboro Groove enter this game at 8-12. Charlotte enters at 9-10. We're going to take a look at a graphic of the official UPSHOT standings here in just a moment. But the Jacksonville Waves still are in first place, as you see right there on your screen, at 15-4. But Charlotte and Greensboro kind of been neck and neck here for second place. And they're also trying to say, hey, I'm trying to get away from the Savannah Steel, who are right now in fourth place at 7-13. Savannah has lost their last 5 games. Greensboro, of course, won their last game against Charlotte. Charlotte lost that game, so each team is on a winning and losing streak respectively. But Jacksonville, my goodness, they have won 3 in a row. They are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They not only are the UPSHOT League team that is averaging the most points per game, averaging over 83 a contest, they're also allowing the fewest, only allowing their opponents to score 79 a game. Meanwhile, the Charlotte Crown, 6-4 in their last 10 games. Greensboro, 3-7 in their last 10 games. So these next 3 games, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, all will feature the Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. And we easily could see if the Groove can sweep them here, they can move up to second place. If the Crown can sweep them here, not only will they stay in second place, they'll be closer to first place, and then more importantly, they will create a bigger separation between the Groove and the Steel in those UPSHOT League standings. So certainly a lot to keep an eye on for, and we're going to have some fun time seeing how the rest of the UPSHOT League season goes ahead. We'll be getting some good news in a couple days too about the playoffs and the championship with the UPSHOT League. So remember, be sure to follow all the UPSHOT League social channels everywhere you can to stay up to date with all the latest news and transactions happening with the UPSHOT League, a league that is in its first year of its existence and has been just such a great league overall. Giving this platform for these professional women's basketball players to remain in the U.S., play pro hoops, and be able to work on their game as well. And we've been treated to some great basketball. A lot of new players, a lot of players that have come from the W. One right there on your screen, Kiara Leslie, a player who was drafted back in the 2019 WNBA draft by the Washington Mystics, actually won a WNBA championship. So you talk about just the accolades and resumes of some of these players that we have in this UPSHOT League. You have some players that have accomplished some pretty cool things at the high school, college, and professional level that are here in the UPSHOT League. So it'll be very intriguing to see what the second half brings between the Groove and the Crown. As both teams head to their benches for one final time, second half, just a couple of moments from the beginning. We appreciate everyone spending your Thursday with us. An early tip-off time here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse, and that is thanks in part to this being a summer camp day game. A lot of kids in the building, many of which is also really cool to think about, which is probably their first sporting event, professional sporting event ever. And how great is it that they're seeing the UPSHOT League, a brand new league that made its debut just a few months ago and is still in its early stages of life, but man, its potential is through the roof. The UPSHOT League already a couple cities confirmed for expansion next year with Baltimore and Nashville, and only more to come after that. So the future of UPSHOT League and the future of women's basketball as a whole is certainly bright. Groove playing another home game today. They'll be back at home again tomorrow and Sunday before on the road against that 15-4 Jacksonville Waves team. And how about that test it's going to be next week for the Greensboro group, taking on the Jacksonville Waves, who have just, again, have not been stopped. 9-1 in those last 10 games. And there you go. You tell the kids to make some noise, and they are going to make some noise. Very loud here at the Novant Health Fieldhouse. I see assistant coach Denise Fox having to lean in a little more to Jessica Timmons to give her some instructions because it's that loud in here as these kids are screaming all over the place, but you gotta love it. That is the beauty of basketball. So here we go. The second half is officially underway from the Novant Health Fieldhouse, Greensboro and Charlotte. Yeah, Shapila Nunn got a piece of that. Possession will stay with the Groove. We were trailing by 5 and trying to do a little repeat of what happened in their last game against Charlotte, where they were able to outscore the Crown by double digits in the second half of play. Timmons for 3, too strong. Ball goes right to the hands of Deja Kelly. This is Nunn. Down low against Kayla Jones and finishes inside with the left hand. So Shaquila Nunn, who opened up the first half, scoring for Charlotte, opens up the scoring for Charlotte here in the second half. Joyner, nice backdoor cut by Jessica Timmons. So Timmons is now in double digits with 11. She is now the second player in this Greensboro Groove team to hit the double-digit scoring mark. Richardson on the other end for 3. Shot's too long. Here comes Timmons activating the turbo boost down the floor. Waits for her teammates. Now it's Sahara Jones. Looking for Joyner. It's intercepted by Richardson. Nice bounce pass inside, but Johnson got a piece of it. Ball is loose again. Charlotte has it, and we're going to get a foul on the floor. Johnson is a little confused as to why there was a call. I thought, if anything, maybe there was going to be a jump ball, but they're going to get Kayla Jones with the foul. That'll be her second. If you're just joining us, first of all, welcome. You are tuned into the UPSHOT League, Greensboro and Charlotte. The Groove had a 10-point lead at the 4:07 mark of the first quarter. Charlotte turned around, had an 11-point turnaround to be exact, and took a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter of play. They outscored Greensboro 22-18 in the second quarter, and now have a 5-point lead here in the early stages of this third period. Kelly gets a screen from Nunn, working against Jones and Johnson. Drives inside, kicks it out in the hands of Richardson. Long two, in and out, ball's tapped, and Joyner has it for the Groove. Johnson kicks it out to Sahara Jones. Back to Kayla Jones for three. Shot's no good, and Charlotte will take over with possession. So the Charlotte Crown team, led by head coach Tricia Stafford Odom, who has done an incredible job with this Crown team. A great turnaround after a sluggish start for Charlotte. They have responded really well here in this latter stages of the season. Johnson got a piece of it, and that time it will be a jump ball as Diamond Johnson got in on it with Michelle Onya. So this will be an intriguing jump ball. You have Michelle Onya at 6'3", going against Diamond Johnson, listed at 5'4". So will Onya win it, or can Johnson prove heart over height? Oh, Johnson didn't even try. I don't blame her. Michelle Onya is a tall 6'3". So Charlotte wins it. Derek gives it to down low to Shaquilla Nunn. Back to Onya, mid-range J. Too strong as the shot clock was about to expire. Nunn got it back, and we're going to get another foul on Greensboro. So that's the second team foul of the quarter. Both have been assessed to Kayla Jones. As again, Charlotte this season, their identity has been pound inside the paint and create second chance opportunities. And with a player like Shaquilla Nunn, you're going to be able to do that. Listed at 6'3", has recorded 11 or more rebounds in each of her last 7 games in the UPSHOT League, including double-doubles in consecutive games against the Jacksonville Waves. Nunn, a player who played 3 seasons of college ball down in Rock Hill, South Carolina at Winthrop University in the Big South Conference before playing her final season at the University of Tennessee. So kind of a homecoming for her. Rock Hill not too far from the Queen City. Here's Timmons, little baseline jumper. Can't fall. Amaya Joyner got the board, but Nunn said, get out. Charlotte will take their time on the other end of the floor. It's Nunn against Joyner. Turning around, Jay, money. Okay, Shaquilla Nunn, I see you. Well, inside-outside action for the big fella. And now Charlotte leads by 9. 7:18 to play here in the third quarter. We'll get a blocking foul on the other end of the floor as Greensboro will throw it out from the side. Both teams still with their starters out there on the floor. As Kayla Jones has it right now for Greensboro as you take a look at that last foul committed by Deja Kelly. Timmons against Nunn. Oh my goodness, showcasing the handles. Kicks it out to Sahar Jones, shot clock down to 2. And Jones gets bailed out as literally with 1 second left on that shot clock, a blocking foul was committed. So the shot clock will reset to 14, 7:04 on the game clock. The exact area code of Charlotte, North Carolina. The Crown have been playing their last couple games here in Greensboro, but they'll be back soon in the Queen City, playing their home games this year at the Bojangles Coliseum. Here's Kayla Jones with it. Shot clock down to 4. Turnaround, Jay! As Deja Kelly took a shot to the ground. A little slow to get up, as Charlotte has a 4-on-5 on the other end. Onya's hook shot can't fall. Jones there for the rebound. Kayla Jones, floater alert. Get in there. Timeout, Charlotte. points. So Kayla Jones, calm, cool, and collected, bringing Greensboro within 7. 6:33 to play. Can the Groove climb back a little bit more? We'll see. But right now, Kayla Jones, 7 points, getting inside. Groove making things interesting. You are watching the UPSHOT League. Welcome back into the Novant Health Fieldhouse. You are watching the UPSHOT League. Greensboro Groove trailing the Charlotte Crown 53-46. 6:33 remaining in our third quarter play. Appreciate everyone spending your Thursday with us. My name is Wendell Epps. Got our A+ production team with us as well. Here in the Gate City, third straight meeting between the Groove and the Crown. Crown have outscored the Groove 6-4 so far early in this third quarter of play, as Reagan Richardson couldn't get the runner to fall. Here comes Diamond Johnson on the other end as the Groove going from right to left here in this second half. Jones down low in the hands of Amaya Joyner, muscles her way inside for 2 points. I like it. Do your thing, Amaya. Do your thing. 8 points now for Amaya Joyner. We're going to get an off-ball foul called on Kayla Jones. It's going to be her third foul, not just of the game, but the period. So now Charlotte will throw it out here from the side as Jones will head out in some foul trouble. Kara Leslie will come in for her, number 41 in white. As Reagan Richardson will inbound it here for the Crown. This is Kelly, working against Johnson. Gets a screen from Nunn, shot clock down to 10. Richardson against the hard Jones, down low to Nunn, weaves her way inside, everything but the finish. Nunn couldn't believe there wasn't a foul call. On the other end, Kara Leslie, all right, showcasing the handles between the legs, 1, 2, 3, but can't hit the 3. It's a good look for her, as here comes Deja Kelly. On the other end, need for speed, down low, blazing her way, but missed the bunny. Here comes Leslie now on the other end of the floor. Picked up by A.D. Durr. Johnson the trailer. Pivot, steps, Sahara Jones baseline J. No good. A.D. Durr fakes, fires, can't hit, so both teams hitting a little bit of a cold spell here in these last few possessions. Now it's Johnson. Timmons comes to set the screen on the left wing. Johnson drives against Durr. Gets in, and one! Oh, there goes Diamond Johnson. A play so nice, we just gotta see it twice. Look at Johnson getting inside, using her body, now up to 17 points. Can make it 18 with a made free throw here. She's been the leading scorer for the Groove today and the leading scorer on either side with that game-high 17 points. As Johnson converts the three-point play. Deja Kelly gets the ball across the timeline for Charlotte as they lead by 2, approaching 4.5 minutes here in our third quarter of play. Oh my goodness, Reagan Richardson tumbled down to the ground. Whistle's blowing. It's going to be a blocking foul. Leslie trying to plead her case, but it's not going to work as Charlotte will throw it out from the side as we take a look at this again. Bang, bang play. Richardson will inbound it here for the crowd. Kelly, elbow jumper. In and out. Sasha Washington back in the game for Greensboro. Almost got the rebound. Second chance for the crowd as we're going to get a foul on the floor. I tell you, Shaquilla Nunn has been a big X factor for Charlotte. She did not play in Friday or Saturday's game against Greensboro, but back in this game today, 9 points, 9 rebounds, on track to get another double-double today. She's been living with those double-doubles those last couple games, and at the free throw line right now where she's shooting 69.8% this season. And as the game goes down to the wire, especially if it stays close, the kids can be the X factor too. In terms of, getting loud at the free throw line and disrupting some of the Charlotte visiting players. But right now, Nunn wasn't deflated on that one. Knocked down both free throws as Charlotte leads by 4. Timmons, bounce pass to a cutting Diamond Johnson. Almost had a bucket. Kelly on the other end. Oh, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Legal screen set by Nunn. So Kylie Gornegay-Lucas has checked in now for Charlotte. A.D. Durr goes to the bench. As Johnson brings the ball across the timeline for Charlotte. Here's Leslie with it now. Gives it over to Jessica Timmons on the left corner. Picked up by Gornegay-Lucas, 12 on the shot clock. Timmons turns around, kicks it out to Sahara Jones. Working against Lele Grissett, shot clock down to 5. Jones weaves her way into the lane, takes a rainbow jumper, draws contact and a foul, and she will shoot 2. So Sahara Jones at the line now. Only 3 points so far for Sahara. A little bit of a quiet day offensively, but maybe this can get her going. Sometimes drawing fouls and shooting a couple free throws and just seeing that ball go through the hoop can open up your game offensively as a ball player. As you see Janice Washington talking to Jessica Timmons as she remains on the floor with Sasha Washington, Sahara Jones, Kiara Leslie, and Diamond Johnson. When Zaya Fillmore's at the score table for Charlotte, she'll come in at the next dead ball. Defense chance erupting here at the Novon Health Fieldhouse. The kick out. Kelly a three. Made it, but offensive foul on Cornegay Lucas. So Greensboro will take over with possession. And easily, this has been the best stretch for the Groove here in this third quarter. Now just trailing by 2 as you see Timmons, excellent job taking the charge. The Groove can tie the game with a 2. Take a lead here with a 3. Timmons trying to get free. Gives it over to Johnson. Screen from Sasha Washington. Goes behind the back. Saucing and crossing her way into the lane. Washington out now to Jones for 3. It's too long. And good rebound there by Deja Kelly. 2-on-1 on the other end. Richardson working with Grissett. And that little runner can't fall. Fulmore got the board, but Kiera Leslie, like a dog, said, "Oof, oof, let me take that." So here comes Timmons now on the other end. Back to Leslie. Going inside. Serious and furious. And we're all knotted up at 55 apiece. Okay, Kiera Leslie bringing some impact here these last couple possessions. Johnson is obsessed with the foul. But man, we're starting to see this game go back and forth. The seesaw affair it's been in the second half. As Amaya Joyner will come in for Sasha Washington. Charlotte's in the bonus, so free throws coming up now. As Deja Kelly will shoot 2. Two makes here, and Kelly can hit double digits in the scoring department, but she misses the first shot there. .237 remaining in our third quarter. Right now tied up at 55 apiece are the Crown and the Groove. Kelly breaks the tie with the second made free throw. Syria Pryor has checked back in for Greensboro. She has it near the Groove logo, working against Deja Kelly. This is Kiera Leslie, who's had a spark here the last couple minutes. Now it's Timmons, steps inside, rainbow jumper, off the mark, and the rebound is corralled here by Onya. Cornegay Lucas, a rocket pass down low to Grissett. Oh my goodness, Sahara Jones took a hard tumble down to the ground. She's up, she's assessed with the foul. So we'll take a look at this transition sequence again. Grissett had it, and Jones, was thinking Grissett was going to go for the block, but Grissett got her with the fake, and that alone had the foul be drawn on that play. So this is giving me some deja vu vibes to Saturday. Those of you that were tuned in during Saturday's game are probably thinking the same thing, like, man, we're in for another treat. Greensboro and Charlotte, something about these two teams. Obviously, it's an in-state battle, right? You've got Greensboro Groove representing the Gate City and the Charlotte Crown representing the Queen City. And these two teams have been treating us to some great battles here in these last couple games. Grissett's first free throw is off the mark. And Charlotte's lead remains a 1-point lead. Deja Kelly will check out for a few minutes. KK Dean's back in for the Crown. One for 2 trip is a success there for Grissett. Pryor has it, so you have Diamond Johnson and Deja Kelly, the 2 leading scorers for each squad. Both on the bench right now. Sahara Jones gets inside, muscling her way in for 2 points. Tied again. The lead changes have continued here in this ball game so far. There were 6 lead changes and 2 ties in the first half as Onya finishes inside for 2 points. Leslie goes between the legs, working against Onya. Spinning her way inside, trying to get free. Lost control of the ball, gets it back. Shot clock down to 10. Timmons thought 3, now will fire, can't hit. Joyner taps it around. Onya gets it out. Grissett, Cornegay Lucas finishes the sequence for Charlotte. And just like that, the Crown are back up by 4, and Diamond Johnson is at the scores table for Greensboro. 60 seconds remain. This is Pryor to Timmons. Looking for Leslie. They mistimed it. That'll be a turnover, and it'll be Charlotte basketball. So Diamond Johnson and Sydney Shaw will check back in for Greensboro. Jessica Timmons and Kiara Leslie will check out. Brissett, bounce pass, looking for Fulmore, overthrowing, and that will be a turnover for Charlotte. A little full court pressure being applied here by KK Deans. That's what Charlotte brought her for. She's certainly a tenacious defender and a prolific playmaker. Two of her strongest skill sets in her arsenal. Johnson to Sahara Jones. No hesitation. Three-pointer. Can't fall. And we're going to get a foul on Charlotte, so that's going to let Greensboro catch a break. And now it looks like Greensboro is going to get some free throws here. It'll be a Maya Joyner at the line now for the Groove. So you see the foul here. That's Fulmore. Yep, right there. Push off against Joyner. And that's why Onya, when she got the rebound, she couldn't believe that there was a whistle because she had nothing to do with it. She thought the foul was on her. I did too when I heard the whistle. But looking at that replay, it was Fulmore with the contact there against Joyner. So 32.6 seconds remain in quarter number 3. One more 10-minute quarter of regulation on the way after this. Definitely, if you're tuned into the stream right now, do not turn away because this game is only going to get better and better. I promise you that. We got Bluey in the house. We got our lovely mascot DJ. Summer camp day, a bunch of kids in the building. So the atmosphere and the vibes are all there. The ingredients are here for this to be a memorable game and a tight finish. Cornegay Lucas can't hit the jumper. It's too long, and Shaw gets the rebound. Greensboro can hold it for the final shot if they wish. And it looks like they will. Johnson directing traffic. Joyner getting free. Shaw's open on the right corner. Joyner never had a chance to throw it to her as we're going to get a foul called here. And obviously when you see a team so many times, especially as consecutively as the Groove and the Crown have, the physicality is only going to ramp up more and more. We had a little bit of a chippy sequence too on Saturday where a technical foul was called towards the end of that first half. But hey, this is basketball, physical play. You know, part of a league and league's identities, you're going to see teams play with aggressive mindsets. And you got a lot of players that kind of have that play style where they're going to play aggressive. As with 4.7 seconds, Charlotte remains up by 3 right now. And right now we've got a free throw here for Reagan Richardson. So now Charlotte with a 4-point lead. Didn't get an official saying from the PA of what that call exactly was. It might have been a tech too. I'm not entirely sure, but Charlotte leads by 4 right now with 4.7 seconds remaining. Game clock down to 2 as Deans fires at the horn and almost banked it home. So that'll take us to the end of quarter number 3. Charlotte leads by 4, 62-58. Do not move. Fourth quarter's on the way. You're watching the UPSHOT League. One of the best sights you can see in basketball. Kids in the building at the Novon Health Field House. It's a summer camp day game. They have been treated to a show. You are watching the UPSHOT League, the Greensboro Groove, and the Charlotte Crown. Charlotte leads 62-58 through 3 quarters of play. My name's Wendell Epps here to bring you today's broadcast. Appreciate everyone that has tuned in and is along for the ride. We got ourselves what should be an exciting finish here coming up between Charlotte and Greensboro. I tell you, these two teams have been battling all game long. Every quarter has been decided by 4 points or less. Greensboro outscored Charlotte by 16-15 in that third period. A 1-point advantage, very narrow advantage, but that was the first quarter of the day where Greensboro outscored Charlotte. Nyceria Pryor's first jumper of the fourth period can't fall, as Diamond Johnson and Pryor, that small but speedy backcourt on the floor right now for Greensboro. Shaquila Nunn has it inside. Washington got a piece of it. And we're going to get a foul called here on the Groove. And that's going to be on Kayla Jones. That's going to be her 5th. If that was on Kayla Jones. If it was on Sasha Washington, though, they're going to switch the call. Yeah, I was going to say, looking at that replay, clearly was on Sasha Washington. So that's good news for Kayla Jones. So she does not have 5 fouls, just 4 right now. Still in foul trouble, but not super foul trouble. Deans will inbound. Puts it in the hands there of Reagan Richardson. Drives inside, fires an elbow jumper. Nothing but net for Reagan Richardson. She's up to 16 points. That's a team high for the Crown. Sahara Jones picked up by A.D. Durr. Gives it over to Diamond Johnson with 7 on the timer. Shot clock down to 3. Johnson tightly defended by Deans. Escapes the trap. Got it! Oh my! Diamond Johnson doing magic in the Gate City. Now it's Nunn to Deans. Picked up by Pryor. Back to Nunn. Mid-range J. Off the mark. Ball's tapped around. Sahara Jones gets it. Kayla Jones for 3. Money! Greensboro's within 1. And Charlotte, just like that, is back on top by 3 as Onya finishes with the lay. Kayla Jones just hit a 3 a moment ago. She's going to try again. Oh, in and out. That one looked good from here. Here comes Deans on the other end. Washington swats it away. Deans gets it back. Second opportunity for Charlotte. It's Durr, a mid-range jumper. Rattles home. A.D. Durr, an experienced ball player, that second overall pick back in the 2019 WNBA draft, played a couple years in the W, now an UPSHOT with the Charlotte Crown, and has just been a steady force for the team coming out of the Queen City. Johnson nifted and shifting her way into the lane, can't finish. Richardson has it now for Charlotte. Launches a pass to Durr, trying to chase it down. Couldn't, and that's a turnover. Jessica Timmons has checked back in for Greensboro. Groove team that right now is trailing by 5, trying to mount a comeback. They did that last Saturday in their win against Charlotte. Had their opportunities last Friday against the Crown as well, but couldn't prevail. Charlotte still owns the season series lead against Greensboro. Greensboro took the first meeting and the last meeting, but those other meetings, Charlotte has won all of them so far this season. So Nyceria Pryor running point right now. This is the intriguing time of the game where with Pryor and Johnson on the floor, Johnson, who normally runs the 1, is able to play off ball. You see her on the right corner right there. Maybe that could free up her offensive game a little bit. Timmons can't hit the layup there. Try to use the right hand. Here comes Lele Grissett. Out to Durr. Wide open 3. cash. A.D. Durr has woken up. Charlotte now is on top by 8. And Janice Washington has seen enough for her squad. She's going to call timeout. So Charlotte's doing work here in the opening stages of the fourth quarter. A.D. Durr has the Crown on top by 8. Back in just a moment, you're watching the UPSHOT League. Diamond Johnson's on your screen right there. Number 3 for the Greensboro Groove, the lead guard who has a game-high 22 points, but her squad trails the Charlotte Crown by 8, 71-63, with 6:41 to play in our fourth quarter of play. Appreciate everyone joining us today for this whole matinee special of the UPSHOT League. My name's Wendell Epps, here to bring you the call of today's broadcast. Can the Groove make a comeback here? They've been outscored so far 9-5 in this fourth quarter of play, as Timmons' jumper there is too strong. Here comes Charlotte now. It's Deja Kelly, picked up by Pryor. Gives it over the hands of Nicole Gwynn, who's just checked in for the first time today for Charlotte. What a time to get your first minutes of the ball game. Shaquila Nunn, a little fadeaway jumper over Maya Joyner. Can't fall. Approaching 6 minutes, here's Pryor blasting her way into the lane. Iseria Pryor, that is what she does. She is as fast as they come. Durr spinning and drawing a foul as Pryor, can't believe it. It'll be the first foul on Pryor. Durr will get continuation and will shoot 2 free throws. Obviously had the height advantage there, and Durr so good with those moves inside. Again, that's just credit to their experience all around. The leagues they've been in, and Durr this season with the Charlotte Crown, averaging 10.5 points per game in 18 games played, shooting 41% from the field as well. That's a team high. Two for two trip for A.D. Durr, and Charlotte now leads by 8. So Greensboro could use some buckets here. It's Johnson. Now Timmons. Drives into the lane, kicks it out. Kayla Jones, they need it. Don't get it though. Kayla Jones says, hit 2 threes in this ball game so far. That was her 8th three-point attempt. 3 players on the Groove have hit 2 or more threes. Jessica Timmons and Diamond Johnson with 3 apiece. Gwynn on the other end can't hit a tray ball. Here come the Groove now. Pryor will slow things down for Greensboro. Has it right now against Deja Kelly. Joyner, top of the key. Back to Johnson with 7 on the shot clock. Weaves her way inside against Nunn. Nice pass to Pryor. Dump down low to Joyner. Can't finish. Ball goes out of bounds, and possession will stay with Greensboro, as even though the shot clock was winding down, it was last touched by Charlotte. So that shot clock will reset to 14, and Greensboro will have a second opportunity. Johnson gets it to Joyner, back to Diamond, back to Joyner. Oh yeah! And 1 for Amaya Joyner. A little hot potato action in Greensboro. And it results in Amaya Joyner getting a much-needed and 1 opportunity for Greensboro. So Amaya Joyner, who's played big minutes here, up to 11 points in 16 minutes of play. And I love the tag team effort. Those two, their chemistry has risen game by game. Diamond Johnson and Amaya Joyner. Joyner was on that opening day roster of the Greensboro group, but didn't play much in the opening minutes, the opening games of this UPSHOT League season. Her minute totals have increased drastically in the last couple of weeks, especially with all the roster changes that have occurred. Joyner missed the free throw, but Groove got the rebound. Zahara Jones, money! That's a big bucket for Greensboro. They're within 4. 1 basket at a time, but they're going to need their stops. Off-ball foul will be called on Pryor. Charlotte will throw it out from the side. Leading by 4 with 4:35 remaining here in regulation. A win today and the Crown can move to 10-10, back to an even 500. They would become the second UPSHOT League team to hit double-digit wins. Win today for Greensboro, and they can move to 9-12 and be inches closer to double-digit wins on the UPSHOT season. Kelly picked up by Pryor, 9 on the shot clock. Joyner intercepts it like a star cornerback in the NFL. Here comes Zahara Jones inside, can't finish. Shaquilla Nunn gets the board for the Crown. Here comes Charlotte now, leading by 4, looking for more. Reagan Richardson drives inside aggressively. Pryor wanted a jump ball, but we're going to get it fouled. So that'll be the 3rd foul on Nyseria Pryor, who had 0 fouls coming into this 4th quarter of play. And Richardson was given continuation, so she is going to shoot 2 free throws. Richardson, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line today. 16 points for number 3. And she makes the first shot there. It's been interesting with Charlotte's bench, how great they have been actually. They haven't scored the most points, but their plus-minus total has been great. Lele Grissett, a plus 16. Quinzaya Fillmore, plus 14. And KK Dean's a plus 10. So that second unit for Charlotte, 14 bench points for them compared to the group with just 2. Have been putting up big numbers and big impact in the stat department. Loose ball foul off the miss there is going to let Greensboro keep it. As Joyner will throw it out here from the side. Kayla Jones had a good look there, but Amaya Joyner has been very active around the rim. And I have no doubt that her stat numbers in the points and rebounds department are only going to continue to increase as the season progresses. So it's Kayla Jones, Amaya Joyner, Diamond Johnson, Nyseria Pryor, and Sahara Jones, the 5 on the floor for Greensboro. Pryor to Joyner, drives inside. Oh my goodness! Onya with the monster block on the other end. Richardson misses the bunny. And a loose ball foul's called on Charlotte. It's going to go in possession now of Greensboro. But wow. I mean, the Crown literally had what you could... I mean, that was a perfect possession. That was a perfect possession until the missed layup. Onya got up there, showcasing the vertical leap. Look at that. The bunny hop, had the block on Joyner, and then Durr with a heads-up play finding Richardson, but she could not finish on the other end of the floor. We're going to get a timeout on the floor. 75-69. Charlotte leads by 6. We're back in just a moment. The man, the myth, the legend, Bluey is in the house. Woo! Yes, Bluey is in the house. It is a summer camp day in Greensboro, North Carolina. The Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. What a game. Groove within 6, 75-69. Charlotte leads. But if you like fun basketball, you are in the right place. My name is Wendell Epps. Got our great production crew with us. Let's see what this final 3 minutes and 35 seconds is going to bring for us. Kayla Jones, mid-range jumper, just rattled out. And Charlotte has it back in their possession. Kelly slowing things down. Player that's definitely wise beyond her years. UPSHOT's leading scorer so far this season. Richardson, turnaround, Jay, get in there. Richardson up to 20 points and has just now tied Diamond Johnson for the most points scored by any player in today's game. Here's Joyner with it near that right wing. Gets a screen from Sahara Jones, back to Diamond Johnson. Greensboro needs to hurry. Still some time, but time is definitely ticking. Pryor's three is too long. And it'll be Charlotte basketball. So now it's that point of the game where if you're Greensboro, you have to get stops. Defense is only going to be the reason you get back in this ball game. And for Charlotte, kind of do what you did last possession. Take your time. Don't rush things. Just work for a high-quality shot. Richardson to Kelly. Charlotte trying to put the finishing touches, a little cherry on top of the ice cream sundae here in this ball game. A.D. Durr with 5 on the timer. Lob pass to Onya. Goes up strong but misses. Jones and Nunn go tumbling down. We play on. It's 4-on-4 basketball on the other end of the floor. Here's Johnson. Step back. 3 on the way. No good. Would have been a good bucket had she gotten that. It was a great post move she made there out on that right wing. Less than 2 minutes remain here in regulation. Charlotte goes around the horn. Durr against Jones. Fakes, takes, and misses. Taylor Jones has it now, wasting no time on the other end of the floor. The pull-up three. Too strong. Richardson corrals the rebound. And now it's looking like Charlotte is closer to having this one in the bag as Shaquila Nunn, though, could not catch the pass. So that's going to give Greensboro a little bit more life in them. Charlotte did not need to rush on that possession. They could have taken their time, but they tried to go for the fast break. But they have 13 fast break points today, 0 fast break points for the Greensboro Groove. Kayla Jones for 3. Yes! So that gets Greensboro within 5, 1:26 to play. Greensboro still with a chance. They just need their stops. Timmons tightly guarding Deja Kelly. Kelly gets into the lane, goes up and scores! Deja Kelly, a beast! So Charlotte back on top now by 7. Johnson, quick 3, too strong. Richardson the board, foul as soon as Richardson got that rebound. And the Charlotte Crown, 9 and 10. They've been 6 and 6 away from the Queen City. Trying to get back in the win column after losing Saturday's game against Greensboro. And we're going to get a timeout before the free throws for Richardson by head coach Janice Washington. So Charlotte leading by 7, 79-72, 1:07 to play in our fourth quarter. Appreciate everyone spending your Thursday afternoon with us. The Greensboro Groove and the Charlotte Crown. It's been a good game so far. Groove with 5 players in double figures, led by Diamond Johnson, who's in the 20 points. Charlotte, 4 players in double digits. Deja Kelly just scored a big bucket there for the Crown. The Crown trailed by as many as 10 points. If you're just joining us, they trailed by 10 points in that first quarter. But they came back and outscored Greensboro 25-24. Greensboro and Charlotte went neck and neck, 22-18. Crown outscored Greensboro in the second period. So Charlotte had a 5-point lead at the half, but Greensboro in that third quarter outscored Charlotte 16-15. Then this fourth quarter, it's been neck and neck again, but when time has mattered, Charlotte has delivered. But we've seen heroes from each side. We've seen very balanced scoring effort. Diamond Johnson, Kayla Jones, Sahara Jones, Jessica Timmons for Greensboro. And for Charlotte, it's been Reagan Richardson leading the scoring department with 20 points. But Michelle Onya, Shaquila Nunn, A.D. Durr have all been doing great things for Charlotte as you're taking a look at some highlights here from today's game so far. Again, these two teams will be back at it again tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. tip-off time, Eastern time, in the Gate City at the Novon Health Fieldhouse. We'll also see the Savannah Steel take on the Jacksonville Waves tomorrow, so you got 2 UPSHOT League games you can watch tomorrow. And it's that time of the year where every game counts as these two teams are fighting for that playoff position. So Richardson at the line now for Charlotte, where she is a perfect 6 of 6 for the line, makes the free throw. Now up to 21 on the day. One more for Richardson. That one drops in. So Charlotte leads by 9. Approaching 60 seconds here in our regulation period. Timmons. Greensboro's got to hurry, less than a minute. Can't be wasting too much time. Steps back, fires a 3, hits it. Jessica Timmons. Making that one look easy. Groove with some full court pressure, trying to force a turnover. That would be the ideal scenario before you got a foul. Kelly goes between the legs, and there's a foul by Pryor. So that's a 4th foul on Pryor. As Kelly will head to the line here for Charlotte. The leading scorer in this UPSHOT League, who has 11 points today. One of her lower scoring performances of the UPSHOT League season, and that 11 points still a very respectable amount in the scoring department from your starting point guard, but it's just Deja Kelly has had so many strong performances this season for the Crown. Especially in her last couple games, and has had 2 30-plus point scoring games in the last 30 days as she splits the pair. We'll get a reset timeout now from the Groove. So Charlotte leads by 7, 43.7 on the game clock. Diamond Johnson will inbound it here for Greensboro. Sahara Jones receives the pass, gives it over to Timmons. Groove trying to make one final push, but none with the dagger block. My goodness. Second chance, though, for Greensboro. Sahara Jones escapes the trap, and we're going to get called a traveling violation. So Charlotte will take over with possession as time continues to tick here at the Novon Health Fieldhouse. How about this block? Shaquila Nunn getting it done on this play. My goodness. Kelly will hold it. Shot clock still on. Greensboro not playing the foul game anymore. Timer down to 7. Kelly, Richardson for 3. Dagger! What a shot by Reagan Richardson, up to a game-high 25 points, as it is officially over. The Charlotte Crown has secured an 85-75 victory today over the Greensboro Groove. A game in which the Greensboro Groove led by 10 in the first quarter, but Charlotte ends up winning by 10. So a 20-point turnaround by the Crown here in this contest. An incredible response. A game in which Reagan Richardson was just doing her thing. She had a great game last Friday against Greensboro, but then Saturday, single-digit scoring performance, but what a response for her in the Charlotte Crown here today. But the good news for the Groove is, just like last week, they're going to have another game on a second day of a back-to-back to play against the Greensboro Groove. So the Groove and the Crown will go toe-to-toe here tomorrow night at the Gate City, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, tip-off time. But a good game this was between the Groove and the Crown. Both teams put on a show for sure, and it was great, right? The atmosphere we had, the Camp Day game between these two teams. Lots of kids in the building, as we'll take a look at our final highlight package of today's ball game between the Groove and the Crown. A game in which Charlotte finished shooting 42% from the field. Some big blocks as well. 7 block shots for Charlotte, including Shaquila Nunn getting a couple big blocks down the stretch. Diamond Johnson, though, still a great game, 22 points. But the star of the show, my players of the game, are the kids. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been a presentation of the UPSHOT League.